Hello. What is up? It's been a long time. Welcome to Talking Shh. Watch Your Mouth with Khalil Anthony. Talking Shit with Khalil Anthony. What you just heard is the beginning of an amazing song. It's called Dance the Blues Away. And actually, let me just tell you, I have not been listening to my own self, okay? Because I've been in the blues, honey. I've had the blues, child. And I've been all sad and man. I swear. So I'm coming to you live from my bed again. I think it's going to be Talking Shit with Chloe Anthony is probably going to be when it gets popping, because it's going to get popping, okay? That's what it's called. Visioning what you want to see in the world and let it happen. So I actually want to just talk about dancing the blues away. Like, because right now, if you look out into the world, depending on what kind of lenses you have, it is very scary. Very scary. Very scary. There's just so much happening. And I know for myself, I felt like I wasn't having any control. Like there was no control over my own thoughts, over the images I was seeing, and the blues that wasn't like no funky Chicago get down awesome blues, but like blues, like other people's blues, and things that I was attaching myself to because I wasn't feeling good. The most powerful instrument in the world, I believe, is our brain and our mind and the reality that we can think and do anything. And when you're thinking and doing nothing, that is happening. Like nothing keeps happening. And negativity, just like positivity or anything that you put in your brain, will replicate itself and manifest in your life as whatever it is, a flower or Jabba the Hutt. Because let me tell you, that's my reference point. Okay, so I think like this, right? So negativity to me, um, or energy. If you concentrate on energy, it forms itself. It makes itself bigger, right? And I'm sure many people have seen this in their life when they feel good and then good things just keep happening. Like, oh my God, this is amazing. This is awesome. Yay, look at me. I got a job. I got a house. I got a family. I got a wife. I got a kids and a white picket fence or a little flat in Berlin, which obviously you'd be happy because it's hard to find flats here. Or you have a husband and a wife and a wife and yay, or three husbands. Didn't want to exclude anybody out in that weird fantasy. My point being, whatever it is that you focus your mind on, it really does come true. And I'm going to use personal information because the last couple of weeks, I have not felt so awesome. Man, man. And I say man because I was like such a baby. Like literally feeling like everything is against me. Like, poor me. Oh my gosh, why is this song not sold yet? Why is this not happening? Oh, mama. So the Jabba the Hutt reference is like I'm literally feeding this disgusting animal, this big negative animal. He's just like, I'm like, man, this didn't happen today. And he's like, and like you look behind yourself, you got this huge, big old nasty energy that you're just carrying. And imagine, like, okay, I never really like to admit it, but I'm a kind of short guy. The big shoulders can fool you, and the big head, the big voice, and the big personality. I felt like I'm walking down the street, or I'm walking to the bathroom, I'm going to get food I ordered because I'm just too lazy to do anything, and I have this chain attached to me, and I'm like this big old Jabba the Hutt. It's just I'm like carrying it. Like if I walk through the front door, it's not so far, so his big ass or its big self doesn't move. So I'm just like, and just feeling way down and not happy and not positive and not even hopeful. Just this weird kind of gray. And adding to the fact that there's no real summer here. So I'm like, where's my sun? I'm a melanin child. I need sunshine to smile, and all these things. But then when you go outside and you have this long, like, meadow leash and you're walking down and you're just full of negative energy and negativity and just doubt and fear and frustration and it should be this way and it should be that way and all of this like la di da da da. Like the world is literally shaking itself because of who knows all kind of reasons because of us, right? And I have the audacity to be like, poor me, I don't have any man, just cry. Anyway, but like the image of Jabba the Hutt, if you don't know Jabba the Hutt, it's like Star Wars reference, Star Wars family reference, and it's this big old nasty thing. And I just feel like that is what we do. We feed the monster. and that monster will get bigger and bigger. And there's times you'll be talking to yourself and you hear the worst thing, and you're like, "Oh, did I think that?" Like, and then that replicates the whole idea. So you already feel bad, and you think something that doesn't feel awesome, and you feel bad for thinking that bad thing. So it's like keeps, And luckily, thank you so much, whatever made me, I am able to feel spring a lot, even when it's winter, in any time, because I feel like there's a rejuvenation period in my life a lot. I noticed, so last week I said, I want to meet a friend. I want a friend to have, meet somebody to have friends. And the first thought was like, well, you're not even in a good mood. And I was like, okay, we're going to let this go. Let that thought go. Remind me to talk about the Autobahn and thoughts. I'm going to get to that. So I was like, whatever. So this is like the first little breakthrough. I asked for something from the universe, like, okay, I'd love to have a friend and hang out because I'm not doing it for myself right now. And not like a friend I already know, because sometimes you can like get into these patterns of like, let me tell you the problem I'm having, someone I don't know and who see, how a stranger can see you sometimes, and bumped into the most amazing friend, like, oh, the best time, like smile, laugh, ha ha, yay, life is amazing, that kind of energy. And I've just been having the best time. So it's like opening up, those closed little spaces in my brain that were popped up with this super negative energy. So then it's like, oh wow, remembering about thoughts. Audubon. All right. So I remember having this thought, and I don't know if it's mine. I believe it's my thought, but maybe it's borrowed because, there's so many thoughts, so many things we read. But thinking about our brain and thoughts, okay? And the idea was that, like, we have so many thoughts that go through our brain. It's imagining like it's like the Autobahn, right? Like, as far as fast as the thoughts go, because cars can go as fast as they want to go, right? So I imagine like 150-lane highway with cars going everywhere. That's how your thoughts is, like bam, 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 bam. Imagine trying to jump into every one of those cars, right? So thinking about the cars in your brain being thoughts, or the cars on the Autobahn being thoughts in your brain. That's the analogy. You don't really have cars in your brain, but all these thoughts. So imagine you watching this 150-lane Autobahn, cars going all directions. You can't possibly physically jump into each car. But with the thoughts in our brains, we literally attempt to, like, oh, this, oh, I'm speaking I statement. I attempt to, like, oh, why'd you think that clip? Oh, no, some of these thoughts, some of these cars, you gotta let them go, right? And you just let them go, and without judging it, like, oh, that's an ugly car. Look at that car. It's just a car. It's just a thought. And what I realized in my last little moment of steady, moo, 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 was that I was judging every dang car that passed me. Oh, that's ugly. That's gross. Oh, and it's like, so it builds up resistance to the flow, right? Imagine it like that. So it's like, if to just to watch the thoughts go past, I think at a certain extent there becomes this resonance of awesome, right? Like, because then it's like a om, right? It sounds like om or something. It's like this calming, peaceful, lovely stuff, opposed to the world is going to end. Did you hear Trump at the UN? Did you see? Did you let us all know, or let me let myself know, there is so much more in this world that I need to pay attention to for me to function correctly. Because I'm not saying I'm like anybody else. I'm not saying I cannot function in negativity. It paralyzes me. So rewind to last night, or fast forward from that part to last night. I'm laying in bed for hours, and my brain is literally, I can feel it reprogramming itself. Like, I have been coming back to myself throughout the week, and I literally can see the reforming of the way I think and what works well for me in my life. And it just really makes me feel awesome. Makes me think, oh, you have things that you're supposed to be doing. I want this show, and I have a host of items on my to-do list that I will be doing in about 10 minutes. But I just feel great. Like, I know who I am. I know what it is for me. I know what is happening in my life. I know what the importance of the songs that I write. That's how we started, right? Dance the blues away. I have not been dancing no blues away. I've been like penning in the blues. I've been like Van Gogh blues. I've been like Buddy Guy blues, and not even creative like those blues, but like down home tired blues. I'm gonna let that be our show today. Watch your mouth, with Khalil Anthony. Talking shit with Khalil Anthony. And I think the point of this show and the point of my life is to find a something that can always connect me to the beautiful love and joy of the Creator. And it's in us all. It's in our music. It's in us being friends. It's in our sadness, right? Because I had to feel like that to feel like this again. But I do know the way I want to continue moving forward. There'll be other sad days, but I will not allow myself to build this hill, right? And then it turns into drama. So then, as the positivity comes, I'm making Jabba the Hutt. I'm making him like hungry or it. So I'm not feeding him. So he's like shrinking away. And anyway, I want to focus on peace, love, and happiness. Again, this is Talking Shit with Khalil Anthony. I am Khalil Anthony from Berlin in my bed.